Hi, I'm Kara for Ulnaweg Development Group. Procurement is a word that governments and some businesses use to describe shopping or what they call purchasing. It's a way for them to identify products and services they need to buy, while setting ground rules for how they buy it. Like your own shopping decision, governments may decide what they buy based on price, quality, and availability, for example. Because the government buyers are accountable to the public and the businesses are responsible to their owners, these organizations will often use a tool called Request for Proposal, or RFP. So what is an RFP, or an RFQ, or a tender notice? A Request for Proposal, RFP, Request for Quotation, RFQ, or a tender notice is sent out when an organization needs outside help to complete a job. Since the RFP and RFQs are similar, we will simply refer to them as an RFP. Further reasons why a company or an organization might need an RFP is because they may not have the staff, resources, or tools to complete the job themselves, or they just might need to get outside help for some other reasons. In sending out an RFP, the organization is saying that they are seeking to work with a supplier, a company or individual, who has the qualifications, skills, and experience needed to complete the job in the time frame requested. What are the typical contents of an RFP? RFPs can vary in format and length from a few pages to dozens of pages. To identify qualified organizations, the RFP will typically include a description of the project, qualifications sought in a bidder, and the time frame within which the project should be completed. To give potential bidders, these are the suppliers who actually submit a bid or a quote, a better understanding of what the buyer is seeking, details on the specific information to be included in bids and scoring process are provided, including their approach to selecting the winner. They may also include how they weigh some parts of their scoring process. For example, sometimes price is the most important part of the score, and in other times, the bidder's experience is more important. This leads to the question of how does an RFP process work? Well, it depends. Let's talk about this as if a buyer is a government, and this could be the federal government, the province, or the municipality. It can also be a First Nation government. The process depends on the buyer's budget. Often the bigger the budget, the higher the risk is for the buyer, and so the more complicated the procurement process becomes. For example, if I were buying a car, I'd probably do a lot more homework and comparison shopping than if I were buying a pair of socks or something at a lower cost. The process of selection can vary in length depending on the buyer's needs, lasting for weeks and sometimes months. Typically, the RFP is distributed to potential suppliers and a set deadline is given for suppliers to send their proposal quote. Once the deadline is reached, proposals that are received in time may be evaluated to identify bidders who meet all requirements and ultimately decides to which bidder the project is awarded. Bidders who do not meet the mandatory requirements detailed in the RFP will be eliminated early in the evaluation process. In certain instances, and for more involved RFPs, bidders may be shortlisted and required to attend an interview. These interviews are used by clients to gain a better understanding of your approach and determine whether you would be a right fit for the contract. This process ends with the signing of a contract between the client and the winning bidder. In our next video, we will take you through the steps of the bidding process and provide you with an overview of how you can prepare a bid to answer RFPs that may be of interest to you. I hope you found this video helpful and informative. Don't forget to click that like button, subscribe, and share this video with your friends who may benefit from the overview of the RFP process. You can contact us at any time by visiting our website, www.ulnaweg.ca.